With the re-election of the commander-in-chief along with the game journalists and their useless covils, now having to insist, like seriously, like they're like the mad guy, that one mad guy on the street holding up the sign with that says "the end is nigh" as they hide the fact they wear a weird Rorschach mask. They try to insist how they are essential, and they, when they aren't, and are equivalent to the sentient cancer. Well, yeah, they're not essential; they're useless. I've I've even seen some claiming that this is the end of wokeness, or at the very least, the death throes. And while I am hopeful for this to be true, I also believe we should not rest on our laurels, as I seem to recall people saying and acting that same way shortly before the Grand Ghoul won, in air quotes, against Trump. And while I am cautiously optimistic, the recent turn of events with the Dorito Pope attempting to trademark game awards has me confident that the corpos and the game journalists are at the very least insecure about their own future and the sway they have. I do not believe the corpo husk would have done this unless they realized the foundation beneath them was shifting sand, and they, like the Tower of Pisa, are at risk of collapsing on their side in terms of what they are actually going to be able to do in the future, like their control and whatever. And for the record, I do not like Jeff Keighley. I will get this out of the way right now. I do not like Jeff Keighley and consider him the equivalent of diarrhea. He is, to borrow from Sterling Craig, he is vanilla. Actually, he's less than vanilla. He's very useless as a human being to me. The man is a blight on the game industry and a part of a corrupt and failing establishment. He is a whore for Hideo Kojima. I believe him to be a narcissist, given the part he played in the destruction of game trailers, which was growing up when I was in high school. That was like that was the site you went to for game information. After he took over, it went to hell, enabling the detriment by flatlining everything to not involve him in some form on screen. So seriously, fuck this douchebag. Anyone else who had done the things this man had done would have been, his career would have been over at that point. Everyone would have looked at him with suspicion. But he was given a second chance, or third and fourth chance, probably because his family comes from money, and they are part of the, I guess, IMAX dynasty, or whatever the fuck. So this recent action of his ends up reading to me like an admission of fearful awareness of failures and taking an approach no different than something I would expect from Knight Commander Meredith of Kirkwall. Squeezing the mages resist, and then she squeezes fucking harder, and that's what this soulless cretin is doing. He is squeezing harder and tighter, thinking that's the solution, when no, it's not, you dumb fuck. Now, whether this is a reaction to Stuttering Craig and side-scrollers, I don't know, and honestly, I don't really care. I do enjoy side-scrollers, despite how they expect me to join a membership that requires me probably to pay. Also, I can see a video I know I've already watched. So yeah, that rubs me the wrong way, but yeah, no, I will definitely side with them against Kaylee. I will side against them, because if they did in fact make Jeff Keighley feel insecure, then yeah, I'll gladly side with them against that sellout. Keighley is basically the Caucasian counterpart to Yang Ye. And I make no apologies for that joke. Fuck him. We have seen more and more that the journalists, corpos, and their sycophant sociopaths do not care about gamers. And or games that can bring everyone together. And honestly, to see the normal people among gamers who have they are treated no differently than plebs. Hell, they're probably seen as less than plebs by these assholes. And their only answer to all this is basically to triple and quadruple down. They're like, everyone who says your shit stinks is treated like crap, basically, or ignored and hand waved away with a scoff. You know, like the Golden One's douchebag ass when the Elric Witcher plagiarism debate started happening. So it would only be natural for gamers to resist and clap back at the establishment, and have even done so with some success in spiteful measures. A good example of this being when Ghost of Tsushima won the Player's Choice Awards in retaliation to Neil Cuckman, much like Barack Obama's narcissistic ass, being unable to keep his mouth shut for once. A man with a survival instincts would try to adapt and remedy the chasm between both sides to try and win over the gamers, but unfortunately, Jeff Keighley is not a man, let alone a capable survivor. This will not solve the problem. It will not make it go away, but Keighley does not concern himself with reasonable or long-term solutions. to appease both sides, and as such, I look forward to him getting more ulcers, figuratively. Also figuratively, but mostly figuratively, although literal wouldn't kill me. Yeah, this Kojima fantard, much like the First Bank of America, is an arrogant prick, and deserves the worst. Thus, I salivate at the thought of it. So yeah, Jeff Keighley, this is a problem you brought on yourself. I feel no sympathy for you. If anything, I'm hoping this backfires on you royally. Because, in the words of Parody Palpatine, there is no try, there's do, and there's fucking up royal. And you are fucking up royal. And you are making... And what gets me about this, that kind of makes me laugh, is he's doing the same thing the leftists have done. They thought if they doubled and tripled down and kept treating people like crap, they would feel shame. They could shame them into submission. And no, that doesn't work. In fact, it made the problem worse to the point that it really came back to bite you in the ass like my angry chihuahua. So, yeah, you get what you fucking deserve. You know, Hid and all that.